From the late 80s to the late 90s, there were few duos in the NBA who filled the weekly highlight reels with wild plays more than the Seattle Supersonics pair of Gary Payton and Shawn Kemp.
A good anticipation, Payton with a beauty to Kemp.
At the time, Kemp garnered most of the attention from basketball fans as the tail end of the duo's highlights. But when Kemp was traded to the Cavs in September 1997, Payton became the team's franchise player and soon solidified his legacy as a Hall of Famer. Ultimately, Payton was in Seattle for 12.5 seasons before being traded to the Bucks in February 2003. Payton then signed with the Lakers in July that year with expectations of helping Los Angeles get their 4th ring in 5 seasons after the team missed out on their 4th straight championship following a three-peat from 2000 to 2002 before being eliminated in the second round of the 2003 playoffs by the Spurs.
Steve Smith knocks down a 3, and Derek Fisher and the rest of the Lakers knows that it's over.
After the Lakers lost in the 2004 finals to the Pistons, Payton was traded to the Celtics in August that year, who he represented for 1 season before signing with the Heat in September 2005. Ultimately, Payton would help Miami secure their first ever championship in 2006, then play 1 more season before retiring from the NBA after 17 seasons. Given his illustrious career, there's numerous game-worn Payton jerseys out there with inherent value. Understandably, ones from his time in Seattle, specifically from his peak years between 1993 and 2002, would be the most sought after. Though others from throughout his career would be worth collecting too. Obviously, jerseys from the 2006 finals would have inherent value given their historical significance.
The Miami Heat, they've done it! They win their first championship in franchise history!
In terms of scarcity, jerseys from Payton's time with the Bucks are the rarest, as he only played 34 games for the team, 28 in the regular season and 6 in the playoffs after Milwaukee finished 7th in the Eastern Conference before being eliminated from the postseason by the New Jersey Nets, 4-2. But one of the rarest and historically significant types of Payton jerseys out there are the ones from his rookie season. Beyond the perfect lobs, there's a number of other things basketball fans think of when it comes to Payton. There's his lockdown defense that led to a fitting nickname, the Glove, his legendary soul-crushing trash talk, and his iconic jersey number 20. Had the Sonics not relocated and rebranded as the Thunder in 2008, Payton's number would certainly have been retired by the team. Because of the move, the Thunder officially own the Sonics' history, though OKC have agreed to transfer their legacy as the Sonics along with the team's intellectual property to any new team that Seattle may get in the future. Since the Sonics became the Thunder, Payton has made it very clear over the years that he has no interest in his number being retired by OKC.
I never played there. You know what I'm saying? Why would I give them the privilege of doing that?
Still, Payton's number is so sacred to the Sonics' history that, as of December 2024, the Thunder have declined to issue the number 20 to any player. Payton first wore the jersey number 20 during his time at Skyline High School, then throughout his college career at Oregon State University, where he represented the Beavers from 1986 to 1990. Payton then wore the number for every team he represented in the NBA, but it wasn't the first number he ever wore in the league. When Payton was drafted by the Sonics with the 2nd pick of the 1990 draft, Quentin Daly already had the number for Seattle, so Payton settled for the number 2. Later, for the 91-92 season, Daly switched to the number 12, allowing Payton to take the number 20, which he wore for both the rest of his time in Seattle and in the league. Ultimately, although he'd lose out on Rookie of the Year award to the first pick of the 1990 draft, Derek Coleman, Payton still had an impressive first season in the league. Despite struggling somewhat on the offensive end, Payton immediately established himself as a defensive force, averaging around 2 steals a game and proving himself to be a leader on the floor with around 6 assists a contest. And ultimately, Payton would establish himself as one of the greatest defenders in league history, so much so that he'd later become the first ever point guard to win the Defensive Player of the Year award in 1996, during an era dominated by defense-oriented big men. All up, Payton played 87 games in his rookie season, 82 in the regular season, and 5 in the playoffs. While every game-worn jersey from that time has inherent value due to their relative scarcity, there's a couple with historical significance. One jersey in particular with special value is the one from a game on the 23rd of February 1991 when the Sonics took on the Suns. Despite losing the contest, Payton recorded what would be the first of 17 career triple-doubles, 15 in the regular season and 2 in the playoffs, when he scored 18 points, grabbed 10 rebounds, and dished out 11 assists. Also, Payton's jersey from Seattle's next game the following night would have some historical value too. During the contest against the Jazz, Payton secured the unusual accomplishment of having both a terrible and productive night on the offensive end when he scored only 2 points, making 0 of 3 field goal attempts and only scoring from the free throw line. but he also dished out 16 assists, which made Sonics history as he became the third player for Seattle to make 16 or more assists in their rookie season after Slick Watts, who represented the Sonics from 1973 to 1979 after signing with the team as a free agent, and Nate McMillan, who spent his whole 12-year NBA career in Seattle after the team selected him with the 30th pick of the 1986 draft.
Rebound knocked out. McMillan. Great play. Makes a great play. Pass number 30.
Ultimately, while the jersey number 20 clearly has deep meaning to Payton, the number 2 seems to have little to none. Still, given his phenomenal career, Payton's rookie jerseys have an obscure but important place in NBA history as one of the rarest pieces of memorabilia for both Payton himself and the Sonics franchise, as they mark the arrival of one of the greatest and most important public figures to represent and embody the city of Seattle in the game of basketball.